Hey, welcome to Dr. Frank's Finance World. I am Dr. Frank the Bank, where I try to teach you a little something about finance so you can make money out in the future. This is part three of options out there, and there are certain things that impact both call and put options, the determinant of how big the premium is. Thought it's worth one more review out there, a little more detail and so forth. So for a call, the influence of market price, the higher the existing market price of the underlying financial instrument relative to the exercise price, the higher call option premium, other things being equal. That makes sense, right? You could get Walmart stock at 140. When it goes to 150, 160, 170, you still have the right to buy it at 140, so the value of the option will get higher and higher. Volatility is a big factor, and it changes quite a bit. You'd be surprised. That's one, of course, the paywall things as we review how you determine that by doing the actual value or the movement of the stock price out there as well. And one of the things I like to look at, and I go over in class and so forth, is the volatility is not fixed. And I like to see how it has been over time so I can determine whether this is a particularly quiet time or a particularly noisy or volatile time for the stock out there. The higher the volatility, the higher the premium, and then the influence of call options, time to maturity. The longer the maturity, the more time there is for something to happen, and therefore the more the premium is going to be for the person who writes it. For put options, two of the three are the same. The higher the volatility, the higher the premium, the longer the time, the higher the premium as well. But this time, the lower the existing price of the underlying financial instrument, the higher the premium. And the reason why is you're forcing them to buy Walmart from you at 140 and it goes to 130, 120, 110, they still have to pay 140. So as the stock price falls, typically the put value premium rises. So here's a bunch of questions I thought you might see on exams. So I thought I'd run over it for you. It gives you some practice, if you will, to see if you understand what's happening with options out there as well. So a put option with several months to expiration. The fact it has several months to expiration means it still has what they call time value. So you will know the time value will be positive if there's still time to expiration. Has a strike price of 55 when the stock price is 50. Well, that's cool, right? Now I can force somebody to pay me 55 when the stock price is 50. So it will have a positive intrinsic value as well as a positive time value. So the reality is, because you can immediately turn around and make $5 off it, that will be the intrinsic value, and there will be some additional cost for the time value. So this may be a $7, $8, $9 premium option. A $45 put option on a stock priced at 50 is priced at $3.50. So let's look at what's going on here before we get to the question itself. A $45 put option means you can force them to buy it from you at 45, but it's selling at 50. Why would you want to make them buy at 45 when you can go in the open market and sell it for 50? And the answer is you would not. So the intrinsic value of this is therefore zero, because you cannot turn around and make money off it right away. So it has an intrinsic value of zero. That's the only one that makes sense here. And the time value is $3.50. All of the value of the option is imputed in the $3.50, because until it actually drops below 45, there will be no intrinsic value, and it is all time value at $3.50. The blank is the stock price minus the exercise price. So the stock price minus the exercise price is a profit that can be attained by immediately exercising it in the call money. So if you take the stock price and you subtract the exercise price, you have what the differential is that you could actually make off it right away, and that would be the intrinsic value. So if the option is in the money, it will have some differential. For calls, the stock price will be higher. For puts, it'll be lower. But basically, the stock price minus the exercise price gives you whether you have intrinsic value or not. The blank is the difference between the actual call price and the intrinsic value. So if you have a call price out there of, let's say, $5, and you could right now immediately turn around and sell the position and exercise it and make $2. What would be left over would be called the time value. So it's the difference between the actual call price and the intrinsic value is known as time value. Giving more examples here. Investor A bought a call option. Investor B bought a put option. All else equal, if the underlying stock price volatility increases, the value of both of them will increase because more volatility impacts equally puts and calls, goes higher. A $1 increase in the stock price would result in the call option value of, once it goes up $1, the intrinsic value would go up $1. But the fact that it's going up, you would tend to have more increase in the time value because people think it's going to keep going up. So a $1 increase would increase the call option value, and typically by more than the $1 because that's the upward direction and people tend to see that as more volatility. So it would increase and more is the answer there. Okay, if you have an extremely bullish outlook, well, bullish means you're going to be involved in calls, right? You could attempt to maximize your rate of return by, well, if you're going to maximize it, you actually don't necessarily want to buy in the money options, because if you go back and look at some of the examples, the out of the money options sell for less because it has to get to that price. So if you think that you got your call in place there, Walmart 140 again, and you think Walmart's going to go to pick a number, $200 a share, you would want an option that was further out of the money because you might get it for pennies. And if it actually ends up in the green and you make money off it, goes past that exercise price, it would go up dramatically in value. So to maximize your rate of return, you would purchase out of the money call options for a bullish outlook. The intrinsic value of an out of the money call option is what? Well, if it's out of the money, you can't turn around and exercise it and make money off it. So it would all be time value, and the intrinsic value is therefore zero. Kind of a trick question there. All right, a little number example here. A call option has an exercise price of 30 and a stock price of 34. So you could immediately make them sell to you for 30 and turn around and sell for 34. So you could make $4 off it. So if it's trading for 525, 4 of the 525 is intrinsic value. The other $1.25 is time value. So $4 of it is intrinsic value, and there would be $1.25 worth of time value. A call option has an exercise price of $36.50. Exercise price of 35 and stock price of 36.50. So once again, you are $1.50 to the good. If it's selling for 225, what is the time value? Well, if I can turn around and make $1.50 off it, make them sell to me for 35 and turn around and sell for 36.50, then $1.50 of this is intrinsic value, and therefore the other 75 cents is the embedded time value. It's a combination of both. Put option has a strike price of 35 and a stock price of 38. So would you want to make them buy it from you for 35 when you could turn around and sell for 38? And the answer is no. So if it's selling at $1.25, what is the time value? It's all time value because it is out of the money. So it is $1.25. Hope that helps out there. Go check out Follow the Smart Money by John and Pete Najarian, that book in the book section of the website. And don't forget to send emails and comments if you have suggestions. So best of luck out there. Have a great day. Bye-bye.